Get in!
What an absolute result that is.
A Colne Valley carp.
What an absolute character.
We've got a banging giveaway for you. Don't miss out. Make sure you're subscribed.
Mate, that's a banger.
Job done. Welcome to a new video. We are back on the bank. Now today we are on a new venue, which is something we've said we are aiming to do throughout the rest of the year. We are hoping to visit many new venues to try and showcase some new fisheries for yourselves, and also to try and find some exciting places for us to fish and try and search out some new waters, do a bit of exploring and try and tick a few venues off the list. So today we are in the Colne Valley, and it's somewhere we've wanted to come for a long time. We've always wanted to try and catch a Colne Valley carp. It is an absolute mecca for carp fishing, some very nice fish in this area and some lovely waters as well. And we've come to probably one of the quite well recognised ones, to be fair. It is a day ticket and it's got a mega head of fish in it, and it's a pretty cool lake. So Hugh is already having a walk around. Location's key as always. He's already gone off for a look. He couldn't resist it. He had to get going. So I've let him crack on and start walking around for us. Hopefully he's going to find a few, and I'm going to go and join him and have a look for myself. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's see if we can find a few fish, and hopefully we can put our first Colne Valley carp in front of the cameras for you guys. So let's crack on. Let's go and find them, and let's go catch a carp.
So as Shaun's mentioned, we're at a new water. We're at the mighty Thorney Weir, a lake that me and Shaun have wanted to come to for ages and ages. I'm sure, like a lot of you, when you're sat out the bank, you're sort of chewing the fat, making a list of day ticket waters that you want to visit. This has always been one that we've wanted to come to. So on arrival, we've had a really good walk around, and I mean for quite a few hours. And I'm sure when you get to a new water, you're just excited. You want to explore every sort of corner of the lake. And yeah, that's exactly what we've done. And we found fish sort of spread out across the entire lake. Now the area we decided to drop into, at least for tonight, is a sort of furthest point from the car park. So we've had to barrow the kit all the way around the lake, probably 80% of it to get to it. Reason why we've come in here, well, there's a lot less angling pressure. Some other areas of the lake are quite busy, and so yeah, there's a lot less pressure in here. We've got a really nice sort of wet front coming in tonight with a little bit of a wind change as well, and that will hopefully draw some of those carp from other aspects of the lake down towards us as well. And yeah, fingers crossed we can fill our nets with a few of these carp tonight. So that's the plan. First thing we need to do obviously is get the leading rod out and yeah, start finding some spots that we can present some rods on for tonight.
Well, we've had a good lead around, and yeah, it's taken a lot of effort. We have thrashed it, to be honest, to try and find some areas, and it is safe to say it is a bit weedy out there, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, most definitely, mate. I think that's probably a bit of an understatement, but yeah, there is plenty of sort of silkweed and also onion weed out there. But I think we both found some areas that we're confident in presenting rigs on for tonight. And yeah, it's just time now, mate, get the rods out and make it happen.
Definitely, yeah. So let's get the rods sorted, wrap everything up, get out in the pond, and let's try and catch one of these Colne Valley bangers, mate.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, stick that in the tree, that'll help. Good job, mate, well done. Whee! Well, I tried using a bait boat. Unfortunately, I got a load of weed around the props, and it was pulling to the left and wouldn't go right, so that was a disaster. But I've decided to cast them to save the messing around and hassle, and those rods are all tram lining out to that spot. Absolutely lovely. Took me a couple of casts, but they've all gone out perfect. Nice drops. Happy they are fishing, and now I'm going to get some bait over the top of them.
Right then, well that's all the rods and baiting up sorted for both me and Shaun. I cracked open the thatches and oh, it tastes good. After a bit of a grueler, pushing all the barrow all the way around this 22-acre lake, and then yeah, taking ages finding a spot as well. But the rods and bait are all out there, and they've gone out nice actually, to be fair. So yeah, feeling confident in that front. All that's left for me to do is have a few more slurps of this, get the house up and get all that sorted, and then we can definitely kick back and relax. Now I'm predicting we're going to have a carp each in the night, probably mid-20 each is what I'm feeling. But yeah, I'm sure we'll come back to you before it's time for us to hit the hay and get some much needed sleep. So let's get that house up and have a few more slurps of this. Come on. So then time for a bit of an evening update for you. Not a huge amount to report. I've just had a slick start coming up on my spot, which for once wasn't the birds diving on me, so that's got me a little bit excited. How about you, mate? You feeling confident going into tonight?
I am feeling confident, to be honest. Everything went really well. The rods went out really well. The bait went straight over the top of them. Like, everything seems to be on the money. I was really confident with how it all went. I think it's just a case of if the fish do move in, I think there's a really good chance of having a bite. So obviously we're kind of dropped in there with the idea that the weather is going to be changing through the night and the early hours, and hopefully that's going to sort of push more fish into this zone. There's been the odd one showing, not loads, but there's definitely the odd fish down here. But I'm hoping when that weather front comes in, that's going to obviously push a few more of the stock in here, and then there's going to be a good chance of a bite. So at the moment, it seems the only bite is the fact that I've just had food, and it was banging. I had some sausage, egg, and cheese in a wrap, was mega. And also the birds are absolutely loving life out on the spot at the moment. So yeah, but hopefully some house fancies bite me.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully we come to you in the night. I've already predicted that we're going to have a mid-20 each, mate. So
I do.
Yeah, no pressure on us there. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll come to you in the night then with at least 1 or 2 carp. Otherwise, I suppose we'll see you in the morning for our standard coffee update.
Well, morning then. So unfortunately, it's a coffee update. Yes, the rods remained quiet last night. I am very, very surprised. I'll be honest, yesterday I felt like everything went really well. Found a spot after a lot of leading around, but found an area that was reasonable and could present on. It was a spot covered in a bit of weed, to be honest, but most of the lake bed is. Went in with the Ronnies for that reason. Nice presentation, sits over the top of the weed. And gave it a little bit of bait. Only put about 10 spods out, nothing too extreme, just enough to get them grubbing. But yeah, it hasn't happened. It all went out well, rods went out nice, everything seemed to go out nice and easy, considering I'd actually come straight from a night shift. I don't think I mentioned that, but I come straight from a night shift yesterday, drove up from work. So I was really tired come the evening, and normally when I'm like that I get a bit of brain fog. Nothing really goes right and ends up being a bit of a disaster, but to be fair, it went really, really well. Managed to hold it together and get the job done. But even though I was mega confident, it hasn't happened and we are fishless. The birds have been diving on the spot, which isn't a good sign, so there's clearly bait out there. And also the bailiff came round yesterday evening, and apparently the lake was pretty much full on the weekend, so he thinks quite a lot of bait's gone in. And only a couple of fish got caught, so definitely not what I want to hear. It doesn't look like the fish are switched on at the moment, but you never know, it might turn on at some point and we might have one. But I'm still confident, you know, the rods are fishing, they've all gone out absolutely lovely, so I'm happy if some fish move in, I'm going to have a bite. So it's just a case of sort of waiting and see if the fish want to play ball. But I've seen nothing showing this morning. I've been watching the water quite a lot, not seen anything show, so I haven't really got anything to move on. So yeah, it might be a different story in Hugh Swim though. I've not actually spoke to him yet. I don't know if he's still asleep, to be honest. I sent him a text a minute ago, but he's not replied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop down into Hugh Swim and just going to have a bit of catch up with him and see if he's got any more light to shed on the situation. So let's have a look and go and see what's going on in his swim. Morning, mate.
Hello, mate. You alright?
I dropped you a text earlier and you didn't reply. I thought you might have still been in the land of Nod.
No, I just fancied a bit of peace and quiet, so I was ignoring you.
Sound like my missus.
Oh, bless her.
Much happening?
No, nothing throughout the night at all, mate. This morning I got up like nice and early, sort of pretty much first light to be fair, and yeah, made the effort to watch the walks. I imagine you want a little lie-in.
I did, yeah. Coming straight from that night shift, I was absolutely shattered by the time the rods were out. I was ready for bed, but I did watch the water a bit. Like, you know, we both sort of kept our eyes on it last night, but yeah, I saw absolutely nothing.
No.
I've looked a little bit this morning, to be honest, but I've noticed the birds diving a bit, and they kind of looked a little bit like they spooked, to be honest. But I'm not 100% or not, but possibly something moved in. But yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, I generally thought we would have seen a few showing, but it just almost seems like nothing's showing at all.
Yeah, I definitely expect at some point during the day that the fish would be showing, but yeah, just haven't seen anything. I've had the birds diving on me as well, like relentlessly, to be honest. They've drifted off a few times and I thought, oh, maybe that's positive. I had that slick come up yesterday. I've probably had some small slicks sort of this morning, but it could just be the birds disturbing the bottom.
Yeah,
but
it could be.
When they've drifted off, I thought, oh, maybe, you know, the carp have moved in and have pushed them off, but I haven't seen anything spook as such. But yeah, that sounds pretty positive over in your side, mate. But
well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, I think we haven't got a huge amount of time, you know. We got here, what, sort of late morning, midday yesterday.
Yeah.
So I guess we've got to sort of midday today. So obviously we've got the rest of the morning to try and make something happen. So hopefully when the rods goes rattling off.
yeah,
I mean, I'm confident with what I did. I don't know about you, but I know we're fishing over weed. You know, I kind of did a bit of a talk. I'm fishing Ronnie's. I don't know what you're doing.
yeah, exactly the same, mate.
Yeah, it's confident tactic, innit? So I think if something moves in, there is a chance of easy getting a bite. I just think it's a case of if they're going to move in or not, really.
Yeah, I haven't touched the rods for that reason. I don't see why they wouldn't be presented, and so I think it's yeah, worthwhile just leaving the rods alone, and hopefully the carp drift in, and yeah, we can snarl one up before we have to go, mate.
Just keeping it quiet.
I think the idea of one each is was a bit of a slog.
Bit of a stretch.
Let's just try and put one on the bank between us.
If we can get one between us, I think we'd be doing all right, won't we?
Yeah,
so
that would be a result. Yeah.
Let's just let's see how it goes, and yeah, hopefully it goes rattling.
Fingers crossed and thumbs held and all that.
Well, I just got a shout from Hugh, and he's actually got a bite. Happy days. Nice result.
A lot of weed just there. Oh, don't do that.
It's a bit awkward to play him, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the trees. Get in! Hey! Well done, mate.
Great job noting that, mate.
Well, you've probably just seen what a result. Hugh has just had a bite, and we have got our first fish in the net. That is a Colne Valley carp. Job done. What a mate. Whoosh. Where is he? There he is. Hey! That took a bit of graft, didn't it, getting a bite, but well done.
It took a bit of graft, but it appears to have been worth it. So.
Good job. First we better get around and have a look.
Yeah, let's do it.
Come on!
Mate, that's a banger. What a character.
Go on. Bit of Colne Valley carp. Well, you were going for the mid-20, mate.
Yep.
Not quite.
Oh.
Looks like it's a touch over 23.
Oh, we'll take that.
We'll take that. Happy days!
Yes.
Oh. Get in, mate.
Right then, well there we go then. My first ever Colne Valley carp. And at £23, I will take that. After a bit of a grueling session and being quite disheartened this morning after not seeing a lot, it feels absolutely mega to be hoisting one up. Not the 25 or mid-20 that I predicted we both have, but like I say, it's been a tough session, so for one of us to have one, I think is an absolute result. So we'll slip this fella back, get the rod back out, and yeah, see if it's time for one more before we got to peel off in a couple of hours. Come on, woohoo! Yes, get in there. Right then, well what a cool carp that is. Thank you very, very much for making my session. Yes, get in there. Right then, well what an absolute result that is. Just slipped back my first ever Colne Valley carp, and yeah, I've got a massive smile on my face for good reason. Decided I'm not going to rechuck that rod. I've still got 2 out there. There's no reason to suggest that neither of them are fishing. So yeah, I've decided to make no disturbance in the last sort of hour and a half to 2 hours that we've got. Yeah, I'm going to leave that rod lent up against the brolly, and fingers crossed we can get one more. Hopefully it's Shaun's turn this time, because he definitely deserves one after making all that effort, grafting yesterday with no sleep after a night shift. So yeah, fingers crossed it's his turn and we can get you one more before it's time to hit the road. Right then, well, we thought I'd just talk through the bait mix that we're both using, and it is a very similar mix, so we thought I would just touch on it. So the foundation, the majority of the mix is hemp, 8mm bug boilies from DNA, and also some sweet corn. Now, I soak the 8mm freezer baits in the hemp for about 48 hours before I come to the lake. That way, as they're defrosting, they're taking on all those juices from the hemp, and then I add the corn in as we get to the lake, just to make sure it doesn't dry out and start floating. Then I'm making up a mix of however much I want to put out on the occasion. So yesterday I put out about 12 spods or so to start off. And I'm adding in also some of the S7 DNA paste. Now that's a really good attractant that will break down on the lake bed, but obviously doesn't fill up the fish at all. So a really good attractant, along with some of the amino smoke S7 liquid, which is a nice fine liquid, but offers this really good haze, and yeah, just draws the fish in to sort of explore what is going on. And then last but not least, I'm adding some chopped worm. Not absolutely loads of it, probably like about a handful for a sort of 12 spod mix, sorry. But yeah, just obviously another really good attractant that we've all heard loads about in the last few months or years. So yeah, that's the mix we're both using. Very, very similar for both of us. So we thought we were just touching it off. And yeah, hopefully that would help you out if you're looking for a bit of a spring mix.
Right then, I need to jump in here. Unfortunately, I need to have a bit of a rant. Now, I didn't want to do this because it is negative, and I don't like being negative around fishing, but at the same time, we want to give you an honest reflection of our experience when we've come to different venues, so that if you're thinking of coming here, you kind of know what to expect. Now, the fishery itself is wicked. You know, it's a very nice lake, very picturesque. It's a very cool fishery. It's got loads of a couple of different islands. It's quite well broken up, so you can fish sort of open water over bait. You could do some sneaking around in some of the bays, do some margin fishing, do a bit of stalking, that sort of thing. It's a really cool fishery in that sense. You've got a mega stock of fish as well, some really nice fish up to £40 plus. So that side of things is fantastic. You know, the fish that Hugh had, nice condition, really cool fish. So that side of things is spot on. What isn't spot on is I've never been to a fishery that is so dirty, and by that I mean there is rubbish everywhere, and I am very, very surprised. I've never seen so much rubbish. Even on some urban, like really urban venues, inner city venues, I've seen less rubbish. I really can't believe how much rubbish is on here, and it really takes away from the fishery. And I'll be honest, it's actually sort of so much of an impact that it will stop me coming back here. I probably won't come back to the fishery unless it's tidied up and people sort their act out. Then I probably won't return. So it's just a bit of a heads up if you're thinking of coming here. There is a lot of rubbish around, and I'm really surprised. You know, there's line in the trees everywhere. The worst thing is there was a poo in the trees to the side of Hugh's swim. We could smell something. We're like, what is that smell? And there was basically a mouldy poo, where someone had obviously had a poo at some point. When we got to the swim, we thought someone had bucketed one of the swims, so we left it for a bit. In the end, no one seemed to turn up, so I ended up checking the bucket, which was a very bad mistake, because that bucket was full of a load of rubbish, essentially. Basically, stuff people didn't want to take home with them. They just left it in a bucket in the middle of the swim. It was disgusting. So The people that fish this place need to have a word with themselves. You don't deserve to go fishing, you don't deserve to be in the outdoors, and you definitely don't deserve to be on these fisheries, because you will ruin it for the fishery owners, you ruin it for the anglers coming in behind you, and you ruin it for the nature, which is the most important thing. You know, who knows what could find that, and you could end up killing something which was just going about its day, minding its own business. So people shouldn't be leaving rubbish on the bank. I know it's a minority that do it, but there is so much rubbish here. There's clearly a lot of people leaving stuff behind, and it is disgusting. It's not welcome. Don't do it, and stop ruining our fisheries. So that is just my little bit of a rant. I didn't want to do it, but I felt it needed to be said. Anyway, we have got a wicked competition for you to finish off the video. So let's go and talk about that, and let's finish on a positive note.
Right then, well, it's come to that time, the end of the session. But before you turn off, we've got our competition that Shaun announced at the beginning of the video. So what and how are they going to win, mate?
So you are going to win the new Amino Smoke from DNA. It was released earlier this year. It's a great liquid. Myself and Hugh use it a lot. We put it on our spod mixes, inject it into solid bags, put it on hook baits, that sort of thing. It adds a little haze around your bait, whatever you add it to, essentially. It adds like a little haze around it, and it's really, really attractive to the fish. So yeah, really, really great liquid. And essentially we're going to have two winners, and you are going to win a bottle of the Amino Smoke in Bug and another bottle of Amino Smoke in Secret 7. So you're going to get a bottle of each of those, and there's going to be two winners. So all you need to do to win that is subscribe to the channel, and also answer the question, which is, what are the top 3 ingredients you would put into your spod mix at this time of year? So sort of spring going into summer. What are the 3 ingredients you would use? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. So get entering into that. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. At least we've put one of these lovely fish on the bank for you.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Thank you. Well, all right, yeah.
First Colne Valley carp, well done.
Yes, thank you very much. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. And until next time, get out on the banks yourselves, enjoy your fishing, and yeah, be lucky.
See you next Tuesday, 6:30. Let's go.
Done it. You've done that before.
I've done it a few times.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's go.
Erasure.
Oh.
Go on.
You cheater.
Go on.
You paro. Look at him. He's motoring.